It was for a while, but it keeps going on and off.
Oh,
Some
well, we
person,
can-
Yes, sir. We're ready, Mr. Chair.
we can hear you, Commissioner Lino.
but you can't see me, right?
Right now, yeah, your video's off, but we can still
Yeah.
hear you. So
Okay, so we'll just
We-
go ahead.
yeah, because your video was on. So, Mr. Chair,
Okay, we're good to go. Okay, we're gonna start the meeting. Buenas, everybody. This meeting is called to order in compliance with Public Law 24-109, Guam Ancestral Lands Commission. Published the public meeting announcement for Wednesday, July 26, 2023. The Guam Daily Post on Tuesday, July 18, 2023, and Monday, July 24, 2023. Attached are the photocopies of the published GALC meeting notices. Director, roll call.
thank you, Mr. Chair. Chairman Eclavea,
Present.
Vice Chairman Laguarnia,
Yes, to get.
Secretary Treasurer Cruz. Mr. Chair, Secretary Treasurer Cruz sent us a message earlier that she had a conflict of schedule and most likely she will not be able to attend today's meeting.
Okay, noted.
Commissioner Camacho,
Present.
Commissioner Orlino,
Here,
Commissioner Rios,
Here.
Commissioner Westling.
here.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum of 6.
Sintus Masi, Director. Welcome, everybody. Let's move to item number 3. Appraisal of lots 2453, 2453-1, 2454, 2455, 2457, 2457-1, and 2481. Municipality of Barrigada, Manila for development, sale or lease.
Okay,
Director?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. There has been a request from the governor. She is hoping that the commission will provide their concurrence to sell the property that you just named. Those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lots with which totals about 101 plus acres in the Barrigada Manila area to build the new 21st Century Healthcare Center. That would be for the hospital to relocate the Guam Memorial Hospital there, to build the public health center there, and mental health center, the behavioral health center, I mean, and other facilities. It's with the same concept of what she had with the request to build the medical complex at the other area, which many people refer to as Eagles Field. So basically, that's what she's looking for now. Another piece of property to put that complex, property that's large enough to hold all of those agencies in one single location, trying to make it like a one-stop place where you go for your healthcare center, your healthcare needs, and also to have it close to the 2 educational units, the University of Guam and the Guam Community College, that are training health professionals, more specifically nurses. And while she would have preferred to not tap into property owned by Gov Guam, she didn't want to reduce the footprint of any of our agencies out there. This has come as, I guess as a result of not being granted a lease for the first property that she requested. So this was second on the list. So the governor made this request to us, and she did make the request yesterday. Our vice chair was there at the time again when she made the request. So she just wanted to reemphasize the need that we do something to help our island and the people of our island here by coming or developing, helping her develop or find a place where she could place the hospital in. with the other health facilities. So her request is to purchase the properties. Of course, right now on the agenda is either purchase or lease, and what we're doing is we're simply requesting an appraisal of the lot. So she said that it'll be used for a public purpose and we will be compensated for it. And the bottom line is, you know, if we approve the appraisal, we will forward this to Gita. I was hoping Gita would be on here, but I don't see anybody from Gita just yet. But we would forward it to Gita for them to move forward on the appraisal. They have, my understanding is they've already prepared the RFP and simply waiting the seed money to be available. So they'd have some funds ready should they get any proposals or any response to the RFP. And that's what this would be. So this action was requested by the governor. She's identified the lots, and she also, this is also provided for by public law. It was passed by the legislature, the 36 Guam legislature. It's actually public law 3656, where the legislature also agreed, and they also authorized the financing for what they call a better health facility, such as for the Guam Memorial Hospital, Public Health, and Guam Behavioral Wellness Center. And they dubbed it, the legislature dubbed the name of this as the Guam 21st Century Healthcare Project. So it's a project that has that is supported by the legislature and the governor. Now, what we are asking for is your approval of the lots and also the concurrence of the commission to support this project. I know we've spoken about it in the past, where you've informed me that none of you are against the project. Actually, all of you are supporting it. The issue back then was, where was it going to be located? And primarily, like I said earlier, was the initial primary location was at the Eagles Field area. Well, as it turns out, our property here from Ancestral Lands is a second choice. And it's the property located right across, pretty much close to, almost right across from the Wine Rock Products. There are easements to the property. It's centrally located. It's near utilities, water and power. It's not on the property, but very near it. So the cost of installing that will not be too costly. So, and I just want you to know that, and to remind you that, you know, when we deal with any land that is owned by the government of Guam or under the control of the government of Guam, it is under basically the control of the legislature. So that even if we give our concurrence or don't give our concurrence for the purchase or lease of this property, you know, it will be up to, or the end result is basically at the hands of the legislature for them to make the final decision. So approving this appraisal pretty much does that. It shows our support for building the 21st Century Healthcare Center in the area of Manila Barragata. It's still a central location, the closest location actually to what the governor originally wanted. And it satisfies the two issues of it being for public benefit and that we will be compensated. And of course, if we're compensated, it will be at market value, or if you want to call it fair market value. So commissioners, I leave it to you now. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer it. I know the vice chair was there at yesterday when the governor resubmitted her request to us verbally. So we didn't get it in writing, but she did approach the vice chair and myself yesterday about it. And she spoke to me about it a few weeks ago when she had made this decision. So, Mr. Chair, any questions, commissioners?
Juice Masi, Director. I think Attorney Finney, did you have your hands up?
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify, just to make sure that I'm understanding. You're not being asked today to decide whether or not to if you're going to sell this land or lease the land or anything. At this point, all you're doing is just getting an appraisal in anticipation of future decision. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. Once I tell the governor that we've approved the appraisal, I'm assuming for the next meeting on August 9th, that we would have the bill before us to review before it is sent to the legislature. I understand that the governor's legal counsel is preparing or has prepared the bill. This will go before the legislature, but they're asking for our concurrence at the same time. It doesn't hurt to have concurrence.
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Rios?
For day, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Director Birch. I just had a question. If it does go after if we agree to move forward with the appraisal, and second step would be for the bill to be addressed during the next meeting. This purchase, if we decide to go with the purchase, is that through the general fund purchase, or this is federal funds that's purchasing the land?
Federal funds. So the monies are
Okay.
available now.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Regarding, I have a question regarding the cost of the appraisal. Is that basically somewhere around the ballpark, and then it can go lower or higher? Is that what we're?
Yes. Yes, it can. I reaffirmed that the other day with Gita. They were at the land summit. I sat at their table and spoke to them about it, and they reaffirmed that that is the ballpark figure. It could go higher, it could go lower. If it goes higher, then they will, of course, ask for more money. If it's less, they will refund whatever is remaining back to us. And then, of course, we could always add the cost of the appraisal to the sale of the property in the long term. So we'll get the money returned. And if there's a concern about us reducing the land inventory, we could always use the money to buy property elsewhere. Or like what we're doing, we have a meeting tomorrow. Commissioner Cruz and Commissioner Camacho are part of the investment committee. And we're meeting with Gita tomorrow at 9:30 in the morning to discuss and come up with a proposal that we hope to provide to the board at its next meeting to reinvest our funds. Because right now, the monies that we have are earning at the minimum about 4.5%, a lot greater than what we were earning at Coast 360, and they are 100% insured. But I think the investment committee is going to ask us if we feel secure enough to invest that further to earn more funds. But I can tell you, since we placed that money with them, as of today, we've earned over $40,000 in interest over that very short period of time, a lot more than what we've ever earned over at Coast 360. And at yesterday's meeting, I informed the land summit that in our land inventory, we currently have in the land bank land inventory itself 1,888 acres available. So she's asking for about 100 plus, whatever, because we didn't have the place surveyed yet. So whatever the survey would say it is, if it's 101 or 102 acres. I see Diego Mendiola just logged in from Gita. He could probably also go into this a little bit more. So welcome, Diego. So basically that's what it is. We could use the funds for whatever to invest in other properties if we are worried about reducing our land inventory itself. But one thing I know you've all talked about and we've all agreed on is in the past is that our island does need a new hospital. We have a public health that is spread out all over the island because they don't have one single location. They're in Deridu, they're in Tamuning, they're in Hagåtña, they're in Arahan. And many people here don't know where their offices are. The office that they had in Manila burned several years ago. And we know that hospital that we have, the current Guam Memorial Hospital, is in dire need of repairs. And this was all recognized in the public law passed by the legislature in the 36 Guam legislature that the dire need to repair these facilities and bring them back up to standard. It was more emphasized, highly emphasized because of the COVID pandemic that we just gone through. We found out that we really need to work on this. So now we're being asked, and they've looked at other properties, and the property we have is the next most desirable after the initial one that had a lot of publicity. So I don't know, Diego, do you want to go any further on this? I know you just logged in.
Off of you guys. Yeah, just to expand on Director Birch's report there. This is just my understanding is this meeting's purpose is to approve funds to get an appraisal for the property. It is a certain amount of money, but in my experience, it's never been. You never get a downside to getting a current appraisal for any property that you have.
That's correct. Yep. That's right.
Once you have an appraisal, at least at the bare bones minimum, you have like a baseline for all your other properties within striking distance of the area. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so if this worst case scenario, whether or not this property is considered by the administration, for a hospital or medical campus or any other purpose. Worst case scenario is the commission will have a very current, up-to-date valuation of its property. So,
Right. Yep.
yeah. So just hoping that the commission will approve, and if we're going to go out with 3 quotes because we believe that it'll be within that range. If the 3 quotes come in and it's above, then we can approach the commission afterwards. But we believe that it should be sufficient enough to do at least an appraisal on the property.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Diego. Regarding again, the appraisal, it is going to be solicited. It's going to go out to a bid.
Well, with the 25,000 is the threshold for going out for quotes. If quotes come back and they're beyond that, then of course we'll have to go through the regular RFP process. So we believe it'll be below the threshold of the 25,000. So we're hoping that the commission would approve and get a valuation for its property, because one hasn't been done for its property in a while.
No, so we are going to have like some options on appraisers, or is it just basically you're saying it's right at the threshold for it to go out to an RFP? So right now it's below that threshold.
We believe that it will be below that threshold, sir. And if it is above the threshold, then then we will to the next step, which is a full-blown RFP.
Okay, so how about the selection of the appraiser? How's that work?
Well, we'll bring the results of the request of the 3 quotes to.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
it is going to be solicited.
Yes.
Okay,
We will go through we are being
Okay.
guided by the ASO to at least to go through the process, and that's how I know that 25,000 is the threshold.
Okay. Any questions, board members? More questions? Commissioner Camacho?
I have a request, Dr. Birch. Would it be possible, I know that you sent us the map as well as a resolution, but is it possible to get a property map from DLM that shows
You're asking for exact size property survey map type?
well, I want to see what's recorded at DLM. So this is more of a satellite aerial thing that I know that Joey is capable of doing, but what's recorded at DLM? I don't think that this is what was
Okay.
recorded at DLM.
Joey, am I right that say that we need to get the property surveyed? We have the deeds for it but I don't believe we have had that property surveyed for the survey map to be recorded in
Yeah, so
until we do this appraisal and we go through the survey process. If this is approved, I've talked with the governor and also I believe with Mr. Bora a while back that, you know, land management has a survey team. I'm hoping that they'll be able to do it at no charge. I mean, if the governor wants the property, then she can order land management to do the survey rather than us paying for it because it's a large piece of property. There's 7 lots involved. And so the
Right.
survey could be quite expensive.
so until it's surveyed is when it can be recorded. So as of now, it's not recorded.
Right.
However, because they've got designated lot numbers, there has to be some map, whether it was pre-war or something.
Those are the maps we have right now. Those are the ones that we have, that Joey has and the commission has.
And that's where he
Oh.
placed his overlays to give you an idea to mark out the area so you know where it's located. But we
No,
do
I-
have that, but they're estimates as far as we're concerned.
No, I understand that part, but I'm saying because these lots, these 7 or 8 lots have designated lot numbers, there has to be something recorded someplace as far as a map is concerned. In order for these lots to have designated lot numbers already.
That's what we have.
Uh,
That's what
Joey
we have.
could. Joey, could you respond to that? You're on mute.
Yes, Commissioner, you're correct. There is a map.
Joey.
There's a cadastral map that was
Joey.
prepared by the Navy. Just identifying
Joey,
these
Raise
properties.
your hand. Raise your hand.
But as far as the meets and bounds,
Raise your
I
hands.
was not able to locate all
Raise your
lot
hand.
descriptions for each individual lot.
Joey,
I see. Okay. Okay,
Mom.
well, I've
Let me-
always been an advocate as far as long as I'm on the commission, is that whatever
Mom,
properties we have in our inventory as
Mom,
belonging to lands,
where's Joey?
we need to
Where's
survey.
Joey?
them. We need to survey.
Where's Joey?
We do.
Yes, and all of our
Where's
crown
Joey?
lands needs to be surveyed.
They
Mom.
do.
Mama,
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm
Where's
sorry,
Joey?
I'm sorry for the back.
I have a question.
Vice Chair?
Okay, I'm in favor of the this the resolution, but in only one portion there that I'm questioning. The appraisal costs and why is Guam Ancestral Lands going to pay for the appraisal? The GITA is a subsidiary, so to speak, of the government of Guam. And I feel that the GITA should handle this matter and take care of the appraisal itself. Moreover, we have been partners with GITA and we have loaded monies into the Guam Economic Development Agency as partners. Why can't they use some of those monies? And I don't feel it's right for us to pay for this appraisal of $25,000. To my experience in the past, we have people who are interested in even leasing it, properties from us. They take care of the appraisals at times. And why do we have to pay for that? I think those money should be kept in trust.
You should, yeah.
And that I feel that GITA should pay for it. Thank you.
The Vice Chair, I mean, the way I see it is when we sell the property, we could also include the cost of the appraisal in the actual sale. What we've done before, I know with Matson more recently, when we had it surveyed, I believe it was GITA may have fronted the money up front, but then they got reimbursed for the cost of the appraisal. It's, I know it is a hefty amount that we're requesting, but I see it as seed money to get the appraisal completed. I could try to search for money outside. It may take me a little bit to get that done. But I might be able to get that done by the end of this week to try to search for funds to pay for it outside of our land bank. But right now, that seems to be the most feasible part. I mean, we've we've done this in the past and we've reimbursed Gita for it. I know they did handle it then.
I appreciate that gesture, Director.
So, yeah, the way the resolution is written, we will take it out of the land bank monies to get the property appraised.
How does it work if the board moves towards, because we're going to decide whether it's a sale or a lease or some other options, but what if it's a lease?
Well, if it's a lease, it'll probably be the same thing. We could include it in the packet when the actual lease is made, but that decision will be up to the legislature ultimately. They're going to because this is going to be legislated for sure. And once it's legislated, it's kind of like out of our hands. I just like us to have our input into it because that we support it, we give concurrence. I know we all said in the past that we agree with building the hospital and providing a location for the complex if needed for the medical complex. Now that's made before us, it's a decision we have to make. And part of that, I believe the first part is to appraise the property to find out what the value of that land is considered and whether or not we need one appraisal, two appraisals, or whatever. I look back at the way we made the sale for the Waterworks property when we sold that to Waterworks, and that went through the same procedure. It went through a bill that was forwarded to Ancestral Lands. Ancestral Lands concurred with it. It went to the legislature. The legislature had the final say on it, and the legislature required 2 appraisals, which surprised me because knowing appraisals are kind of expensive. So the final decision is with the legislature, with or without the commission's concurrence. The bill is already being prepared or has been prepared for submittal. It would be nice to have the concurrence of the commission, but then again, that's not required. What I would like to do is put a price tag on it so that when it goes forward, that we know what we're asking for if we're going to concur, and we provide a price tag. If you use, and what we've seen are properties that were appraised about a mile or so away, that were same zone, agricultural zone. I believe it was about $25 a square meter. And if we're going to use $25 a square meter, then the 100 acres would come up pretty close to about just over $10 million if they were to purchase it from us. It could be higher, but I doubt if it's going to go down from that appraisal I saw down on property in the same general area, but we would need our own appraisal. So I'm saying that we can get the funds reimbursed back into the land bank if we use it, to transfer cash to Gita, and if I'm successful in obtaining cash elsewhere, return that money to the land bank and let Gita use the other funding for it. But right now, yes,
Mr. Chair, if that's the case, then I would like that indicated in the resolution. Please, to ensure that we would be reimbursed, and that you will also, and additionally, will be seeking funds. I feel that it would be good that as a government entity, the agency should seek those funds rather than to take from the land bank. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Even at that consensus of reimbursement, I'm still hesitant about touching the land bank monies.
Okay. Well, if we get approved for that, yes.
Yeah, it has the appearance of the board like looking out for of course it's the trustees, and that we are anticipating the fact that it could come back to it's a money well spent, of course, and that it's going to come back.
Yeah, it could come back, like I said, in the end result with the sale. You could be included in that. We could request the legislature to in the bill that will be submitted when we do go down and testify, that the cost of the appraisal be included in the sale of the property. Anything can be added in. All we were asking is that for us to start the appraisal now, and Gita needs to have some kind of funding source available for them to do this.
Understood. I know, Commissioner Weston, you had your hands up, but real quick question for Diego. Would the process be similar to what the director was saying regarding our Guam Waterworks appraisal? Will it kind of like follow that kind of protocol?
Sorry, sir. I don't know if I logged in early enough to hear that part.
The director brought up the sale that we did with Guam Waterworks, and that
Yes,
it went up, it went through a couple of appraisals. Would this be similar in some, because the legislature is involved a couple of appraisals?
Well, I mean, with an appraisal, sir, the commission has a better justification for asking, what the price, what a price, be it sale or be it lease, should be. The appraisal is just an appraisal, but it's a starting point. So if the legislature were to ask the commission, do you have any input? We think it should be $8 million. And, and the commission says, no, we don't agree because we have this appraisal done by a certified appraiser, certified on Guam to do appraisals. And, they say it's 10 million, and this is the appraisal report. So it gives the commission more footing, more balanced footing to justify its request to say, it should be at least 10 because we have a certified appraisal that says 10.
Yeah. Yeah, very good. We understand. I understand that. But what I'm saying is it going to follow similar to the process of Waterworks?
Yeah, for any procurement, we, just like it doesn't matter which agency, we all have to follow, Guam procurement regulations. So, if it went out for RFP, we have to follow the same.
So the director indicated that the legislature asked for 2 appraisals. So that's why I was just asking, this would probably follow the same type of procedure, procedure.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I don't know what the end whatever bill has been. Yeah, I don't know what the end result will be, but at the very least, we could get at least one started. And like I was saying, worst case scenario, the worst case scenario is that the commission will end up with a current valuation for its property. So, there's really no downside to it that I can see.
Understood. Thanks. Okay, Commissioner Weston, you had your hands up.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify, Director Burke, you mentioned earlier that that the governor's desire is for a purchase of the property, because one of our commissioners here just a few minutes ago said lease or sale. So as far as you know, the goal of the administration is not to lease, but to purchase.
Yeah, the
And
primary.
I know we're getting ahead of ourselves right now, and I really don't want to go down that trail right now, because the whole purpose of our meeting today is to vote on the approval to move forward to obtain an appraisal, which I am supportive. But I just to clarify things in my mind for, bridges that we will cross at a later time. But ultimately, the legislature will be the governing authority to decide all the final decisions, regardless of what we may ultimately want. Correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
But
so
but the governor would like the commission's concurrence.
Yes.
Now, if the commission prefers a lease or a sale, of course, we could take that up later at another time and inform her of that. Because I know that she wants to build the hospital in that particular location. And I have a feeling that if necessary, she probably would go for a lease, but primarily she would prefer a sale, and she has the funds available now. And if the concern is reducing the inventory, we could always take those funds and buy properties elsewhere. It's just that the convenience of this one for the medical complex is that these 7 lots are located adjacent to each other, all in the same location, which
Correct.
makes it nice. But
Correct.
if we have property that we decide to purchase that could be smaller and separated from each other, for our purposes, that could be okay too. So it could work out both ways. The biggest thing is to get the hospital and these other medical facilities built. And then the decision is will be made later. And of course, hopefully with our concurrence, the sale and or lease, but the legislature has that final say in the end. And that's why the bill will be coming to us. I hope that they could get it to us by our next regular meeting on August 9th, so we can discuss that. But that of course will be pending maybe an appraisal, so that we have the actual numbers, of whether we're going to lease or sell the property.
Okay, thank you so much for
welcome.
the in-depth explanation. I appreciate that.
Okay, so I think one of our next meetings will definitely involve the advantages and disadvantages of what of both
Yes.
scenarios. Yeah, so we gotta look forward to scheduling that. And if there's any other options besides the 2.
Okay, so with the issue that the vice chair brought up on the wording of the
Resolution.
last paragraph, I believe that's where it's at, be it finally resolved. Where the request is made for $25,000 to be withdrawn from the land trust savings account at Coast 360. Would you like me to add in words there that the funds are to be reimbursed upon the sale or lease of this property? And
Well,
that
I think
way-
there, I can't speak for the vice chair, but I think something like the board is just anticipating
Yeah.
we're gonna get, maybe.
Okay, so the board's
anticipating
anticipating
that it's gonna come back.
the money will
it's
come
an
back, because we could
advantage.
do
It's an
that.
advantage.
Yes, and that's why I said that could be a part of our testimony at the legislature when the bill is presented to the legislature, that we paid for the appraisal, and we would like that money refunded to be placed back in and to have that amount included in the sale. So if the appraisal, for example, is $10 million, we had 10 million plus 25,000 more.
Yeah.
So we could include
I-
that, and I
yeah.
could get something, okay, for the anticipation of the reimbursement upon sale or lease of the property.
Well, that's my thoughts.
easy
I'm
enough
not
to
sure.
include.
Vice chair.
Yes. Yeah.
Are you okay?
I agree. No, let me clarify to all of you, because I spoke personally with the governor yesterday. She approached me, and her intentions is for purchase.
Yes.
And I said, yeah, well, we of course we want our hospital, but we need to bring it up with the rest of the commissioners, and but now bringing it back to the resolution. Yes, I would concur with the chairman. I would please, because I know the legislature makes the ultimate decision, but a reflection on our part as board members, commissioners, I would like that indicated that the appraisal monies will come back into there. But furthermore, like Mr. Director, I would appreciate, seeking monies, outside of our funds to pay for these appraisals. It's like I said, I'm just hesitant to take it out from the thing. It's like taking money out of the cookie jar, reflection on us. I mean, that's how I see it. I think money should always be sustained as much as possible, and to gain, never to lose. And in any attempt or whatever, how it's going to look or how it's going to end. But I would like to preferably indicate there that we receive those monies back, because we are entrusted with these
Yes.
with these monies and these lands. And that's how I would like that resolution to be reflected, that
Okay.
is our intentions in that resolution,
We did the same thing or something similar when we did the payment for the repair of the roof of the Guam EPA building.
right?
Remember, we passed a couple of resolutions. The first one was a little short on cash. We had to come back and request for an additional amount of funds, 2 more times actually,
Mhm.
because it started at 50,000 or so and ended up over 100-some thousand. And the intent of there was that over the period of years of collection, that these monies will be placed back in, because it's pretty much working on our land bank properties and improving them to make money as best we can, for the land bank. And that's where these funds will go. It won't go anywhere else except into the land bank itself. And like I said, there's other ways to get the money returned. I will attempt to try to get other funds. And if that's the case, if I'm capable of doing that, then we'll take those funds and place that into the land bank. But at least for the seed money now, so GITA could start. That's what I'm asking, and that's what this will be. But I know that in the long term, or even short term, I might be able to get those funds reimbursed. I might be. It's not a guarantee at this point.
Or, what about just having GITA pay for it for us? We've gave them over how much? $2 million over the past over 16 years of management and partnership.
They probably
25,000 is very little.
Paycheck. I don't know, Diego.
What do you think, Mr. Chairman? Rest of the board members? It's only 25,000 up front. Front it for us.
Well, I'm not going to argue with GITA if GITA says they want to do it.
No, but
I ain't gonna stand in their way.
Yeah, it was the request of GITA that we come up with the funding, and that we will seek a way to get the funds back in. So I know we will get it back in. It's going to be up to the legislature to decide how. And the legislature has already given their support for building the medical complex. That's why I placed in the resolution the bill that they passed in the 2036 Guam legislature. So it's not something new to them. They were ready for this. And the only argument they had was location. And many people said, and many of them said, why are we looking for a lease when we have government property? Well, here is the government property, and it's within the land inventory of ancestral lands. I don't know if the Chamorro Land Trust Commission has property in the same area that's desired by the governor. But this one here, this property does meet all the requirements that was established. A central location, something that's available to the people in the north and in the south. I mean, it's right along Route 15. So if you're in Dededo or Jigo, you're a straight shot down to the medical complex in that area. But just like if you're in the southern end from Inarajan all the way up to Jotnian, the traffic is a lot lighter than what is going to be going through Tamuning. And if you were at the land summit the other day, you would have heard that land management Department of Public Works is going to be repairing Marine Drive and cutting up all the way through to Camp Bloss. They're going to be pulling out 5 bridges, maybe 6. And so that road's going to be very crowded and very hard to traverse over the next few years because of all the construction and the traffic. So this would divert some of the traffic elsewhere, of course. And like Senator San Augustine said, we had complaints, of course, by some of our doctors, is that if you build it, they will come. It will build up the area around the property up there. So I think we will get most assuredly, this is the governor's set her mind on this location. It's up to the legislature now, and it would help if they had our concurrence to do this.
okay.
Okay, so I could put the words in that the funds raised that should it be a sale be included in the sale to be reimbursed, or if it's a lease that the cost of the appraisal be included in the cost of the lease to be reimbursed. to the land bank. And that way we could still provide the funding and have it available. And if I'm able to find funds elsewhere, maybe we could work it out where that would be placed in and reimburse it quickly rather than later on. But I have a strong
Okay.
feeling that the legislature, I don't think will object to this. There might be a few doctors out there that might, because they built their facilities in Tamuning. But if you go into hospitals in the States, I know doctors travel a whole lot further than from Tamuning to Manila. Even if you go to the Philippines, they come from the provinces outside. So it's within that area, that timeline of response, I've been told that it's in an area that's central. That's what makes it the next, what I'm told, the next area of desire for the hospital or the hospital complex to be built in. And of course, we have property nearby, and I can imagine the value of that property will go up tremendously. So, commissioners, I mean, I could add that statement to it if we could approve this, so GITA can move forward with whatever language you want included in the resolution, and I'll adjust it to meet that.
Very good, Director. Any further questions? I just got a quick note, regarding the location. There's still, it's basically top priority right now, our ancestral lands, but they still haven't finalized the location. It's possible that it might be some other location.
Well, I
Or
understand.
they already said that that's the place.
Well, my understanding is the governor's legal counsel has prepared the bill for this particular location to be submitted to the legislature.
Okay,
And if that's the case, the governor's office is targeting this. The decision will be up to the legislature, whether or not this property is to be used.
understood. Okay,
So that's the one hurdle. I mean, the same thing went with the Eagles Field area. The governor prioritized that, attempted to get the project located there, and it failed. So this is the next location she's asking for, but the legislature still has final say on this whole matter. But it will be submitted to them, and the governor said she would love to have our concurrence along the way. Because basically that's what it's going to be if we agree to it all, is giving our concurrence and our support. The final decision is made by the policymakers of the government of Guam, and they control basically all the land that's owned by Gov Guam, even those under the control that they gave us control of. You know, the legislature has shown that whenever if ever Chamorro Land Trust or ancestral lands disagreed with the policy they set forth, they took the matter into their own hands. And this shows with the farmers co-op in our case.
okay,
So all we can do is do what we feel is right for the island. And of course, if we agree with this, then to appear at the legislature when the public hearing comes up. I haven't seen the bill, but I have an understanding it's either in works or completed at this point. And that we should be seeing it soon, and also at about the same time it's forwarded to the legislature. Hopefully we can get it in time for our next meeting on August 9. And hopefully we can start
okay,
meeting with our
Director,
oversight chair to discuss this.
yeah, I did get
Yes.
a note that some commissioners need to log off.
Yes,
Maybe
okay.
if we can, unless there's other
Okay, one more. Yeah, okay, one more final one, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, so, you
Yes.
know, to keep it at an open, I know legislature final, but on our side also. So can you just indicate then that it's open to either lease or sale? Okay,
Yes, I can
include that in there.
place-
Include that in there, as well as the reimbursement, and that we emphasize that we are, you know, are not in in the business of always taking out monies, you know, and using it for other purposes. And we're trying to just maintain the integrity of the trust by doing so, protecting the trust. So indicate that, Mr. Director, and draft it up. And as soon as I am in favor.
Yep.
Okay.
more like prudence language in there that we're being.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
it's easy to include the words lease or sell.
Right,
That's not a problem. This is a resolution.
right,
Okay.
okay.
Okay, let's move. Unless there's other further
Yeah.
important questions or reservations, let's move.
With the additional amendments, okay?
Yes.
Okay. Call it out, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we need a motion on the floor.
Is there a motion on the floor?
We need a motion.
Okay, I will move, Mr.
Okay.
Chair,
Vice Chair?
that we pass the resolution indicated by our, because I don't have it in front of me, I somehow lost it, based on the discussions that we've discussed. And our director has indicated that he would amend those, inclusive of those discussions that we had. And that's the general motion that I'm having. If there are any additional comments on the motion, you can move ahead. You can
Okay,
second it.
so we got a motion on the floor by the Vice Chair, which is to approve the funds out of the savings to
No, the resolution with the amendments.
yep. The resolution does have the resolution, yes. But basically to get the funds out to get the appraisal, right? For the appraisal.
Yes,
Right,
and upon sale or lease to have it included in the cost for reimbursement into the land bank trust.
Yeah, so it's approving
I'll include for sale or lease.
the funds for the appraisal.
Yes.
Could I get a confirmation of that, Vice Chair? That's what it is?
But we messed out the part that I know the resolution is has multiple layers of points there, and we kind of left out the point that the director would also seek funding outside of that source, with the with that effort included.
Okay, I'm writing that right now.
Yeah, remember, we discussed it. I was hoping you would be taking those notes and
Yeah, he says he's
points
got it
and
down.
concern. Okay. And that also indicate like that, our concern that we are not in the, we are as commission members concerned about taking funds out of that and utilizing such funds. But despite reimbursements, because sometimes, it just doesn't end up in that right direction. You know how it is. Things can just happen. So that's my concern, that we are really concerned about the protection of those monies.
Okay, so
however
Director,
you word it.
okay, you got the
I got the gist of it.
Okay.
okay.
And
And
I'll
so
sit down with
Vice
Diego
Chair,
to make sure we got it correctly.
Okay.
okay, I didn't hear, but I'm not sure if I heard your in your motion for the 25,000 to be allocated for the appraisal. Is that part of your motion?
That came into that came out of your that came out of your mouth, not mine.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we
That's
need
what
to
I'm
clarify.
trying to avoid.
Well, we need a motion on the floor for that's what it's
Yeah,
for. The
yeah. The motion is to approve the resolution with the amendments that was
Okay.
indicated through the discussions and noted down by the director.
Okay, does that motion satisfies the resolution?
In general.
Yeah.
Yes,
Director?
it still gives us the opportunity to pull the seed money from the.
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct.
You're right. Right.
So
That's
what
right.
Gita's requesting.
Okay,
Right.
so
And I didn't. Okay,
that's
that's
what
it.
that's what I need. Okay, that's okay. I'm good with it. Okay, so do I hear a second?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, seconded by Commissioner Wesley. All in favor? Aye.
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 Any
Aye.
nays? Any nays? No nays. Okay, Director, motion passes.
Okay. Thank you, commissioners. I'll work on this right away, and already Diego knows that they're going to move on the appraisal, and I'll work on getting the funds out. Of course, Mr. Chair, I'll be calling you in, and also our Secretary Treasurer to sign the documents to move forward on this. And
Okay,
I'll do
very-
my best to find outside sources outside of the land bank if I can get it right away. But I'll word the
Yes.
resolution as you requested that I move forward on that. But I'll also include in there that if that doesn't occur, that it will be written into the lease and or sale of the property for the complex. And I see that the speaker's office is tuned in also on this, so they're aware of what we're working on. Tristan Quintanilla is one of her policy analysts there.
Right.
So she's aware of what's happening here. I'm glad. So we'll see if we have her support. I know that she supports the hospital. The big key was location, and that was what everybody was concerned about.
Yeah. Okay, don't forget, Mr. Director, in that resolution also indicate our concern, like as you know, commission
Yes,
members,
I have that
we
we're
are,
concerned.
make sure that we are, you know, where we are really watching out for these monies, you know, where
Yes.
and we don't, you know what I mean. I just
I
can't write it
understand.
thinking right now. I can
Yeah,
say
to-
it more
to
in
make
tomorrow,
sure
but
that-
it's hard for me. Our intentions
Yeah.
are, yeah.
And of course, that's going to be brought up also at tomorrow's investment committee meeting. Because that's part that we might be coming back, might be on the agenda also for the August 9 meeting on our investment of our funds. They are growing faster now than what they have ever grown in the past as far as investments. But it's, as the commission stated earlier, to be invested at an extremely safe level.
Cautious.
We're
Yes.
very extremely cautious. That's what we've done.
Yes.
But of
Correct.
course, we're going to come back asking to take more jumps, to be more, I
Productive.
guess, to try to double our money in short. And
Right.
this would just be one of that I see that could feed into that. Because the more we have in it, the more we make, basically. So yeah, we're doing our best to accomplish that, and we've been moving forward. So thank you,
Very good.
commissioners, for everything. I know some of you have to log off and go elsewhere.
Well, Director,
yes.
Director, congratulations on the summit yesterday.
Well, thank you.
With G. That was excellent
Thank
you.
job. And Vice Chair Sejus Masi for
Yeah.
covering for us.
Yeah. It
Sejus
was
Masi.
good. It was great. You know, guys, you missed out because it had all the other stakeholders of government agencies present their goals of reference to with land plans. You know, even GPD had they were represented. GITA, Guam Housing Authority, Guam Housing Corporation. There were multiple agencies there that did the presentation, but our director did it the best because everybody kept quiet when he was talking. Nobody interrupted. It was the
I think
most
that's
important part there
Yeah.
because
That was
we
a
hold
shock
the
and awe.
lands.
I'm glad I caught it. Yeah, I'm glad I caught
Yeah.
it. Thank you, Joey, for posting the link.
Yeah. And and the food was good. And we also had GPD as security to watching the food, you know, like Joe Bora. And Joe Bora was very thorough. It was great.
Man,
And I
if I could
appreciate
have,
his
if
talk.
I could have made it, I would have definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a loss for me. Boy, the head was pounding like nobody's business.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not better today. Not better today.
I think the land agencies did all well, even Chamorro Land Trust.
Right.
Yeah, they did
Oh,
great.
Oh, yeah. Who's that?
So
Oh,
Alice
yeah.
did very well too.
Alice. Yeah. Alice, again, for your information, everybody. Alice Tyron, again, spoke from her heart. And her quote was from an Indian quote that these lands are for our children.
Exactly.
We are just, like I've always said, we are just borrowing these lands from our children. That's it. She said the same thing.
Custodians. For the
Yeah,
land.
and she was cheering up. You know, she was choking up. The spirits of our ancestors had gotten into her, and I praise her. I say, you know, that's very good. You know, it's so good that her heart is in our people and the lands.
Again, so just Masi, everybody,
Right.
any last final
Yeah.
thoughts? Anybody? Final thoughts? No? I'd like to thank again our staff and at
Yep.
GALC Director, Kathy, Teresa, Antolin, Joey, and our summer interns.
And our
You guys
Yeah.
are having a great time. And of course, Gita. Gonna pick on
Thank
Gita
you.
again as usual. But
Hey, Wait,
Thank you.
before we
Thank you.
before we close, Mr.
Yeah.
Director, when is their last day? So we could probably get together with them.
Oh,
Have a
yes,
luncheon.
Kathy. Their last
And-
day is next week.
Okay, and give them, can I suggest that you guys give them a certificate of, you know, some sort of certificate that they work with with Guam ancestral lands. You know, I always,
We gave them-
it's always,
We gave them
it's very
ID
important.
badges.
Yeah,
Oh, they
but
got
I
ID
think you
badges.
should I give them a certificate of participation or some sort of certificate from the Guam ancestral lands with all of us signing it. Those things become very significant when they go out in the working field, you know. And you know, I would recommend that. You know, it's not hard. Just only how many do we have with you?
5.
Yeah, just 5 certificates from the and Kat, if you can do that, Kat, hey, and just get the director and then
if you
the board chair and all the commissioners sign it.
And you
It's
see
very
all the
important.
boxes in the picture behind them? That's what
Oh,
they're
yeah.
working on.
There you go. So I would recommend that. You know, it's something that they can keep with them when they leave our agency. That we thought about them, we cared about them. That's all I say. As an educator, that's how I see it.
I second everything.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
I look forward to the next
And they
in the near future.
and it's a potluck, right? And we meet there, right, Kat? Let's get together. Commissioner Rios,
Let us
Alpha
know.
right?
Let us
He's here
know.
already.
Let's do it.
Let
Let's
us
do
know.
it for them. You know, those are the future.
do it.
These are the future leaders of our
Yeah.
island. You know, let's show them how
You guys
appreciative
the
we are.
future.
Oh,
That's
You're gonna
right.
blink your eye and you're already leading. You're out there.
There
You're
you
out
go.
in the
There
world,
you go.
kicking down doors.
I see them right there.
Okay.
Okay, keep us posted.
Okay.
Okay,
And I look forward
commissioners,
next
thank
time
you
for
very
Gita's
much.
update. Gita's update.
Okay,
We still need
Okay.
somebody to call for adjournment.
I move, Mr. Chair. I move for adjournment. Hello.
Did he log off?
I
Oh,
don't
no,
think
he's-
you need
Oh,
a
yeah.
second, right?
Yeah, you need a second. Is there a second?
3:30 p.m., 3:31
We don't need a
p.m.?
second. Yeah, we don't need a second.
This meeting is adjourned. So use my say, everybody. Take care.
All right. Okay.